Hello, I'm Andrea Hennen. I'm a member of the Moving Center, and just like my two colleagues before me, Eitan Lerner and Matthew Wilkinson, I'm a Feldenkrais and Anat Vaniel neuromovement practitioner. My part of today's presentation of our center is to show you a case study of Theo. He's 19 months old. This study is named Organizing the Eyes Through Movement. I'm going to guide you through a content, which is mapping the brain. I'm going to show you a first video of Theo. We're going to have a practical approach with a very brief neuromovement lesson. And I'm going to show you a second video of Theo and explain you some of how we work to make vision possible through movement and learn how to see. In the first picture of Theo, you see him, he's 19 months, he doesn't have a diagnosis. The picture is being taken before his lessons with me. His right eye is rolled up and there is no sign that he can see. He doesn't blink when you come close to his eyes. He lifts his legs up in the air in a non-intentional way and he does not roll to the side. He mainly lied on his back and he kept his head mostly turned to the left. The work I have done with him was mainly guiding his attention in a slow, gentle way of touching him on his shoulders, on his chest, and the movements leading through his whole body to his pelvis, so he could actually have feeling of how it would be if his body was turning to the left, to the right, in a very gentle way. The movements are done very slow, so that I can feel him following, being able to follow my intentions and feel that he is paying attention if I'm going slow and move along with him so he can catch actually what I am doing. He can feel his body leaning to the side, he can feel the surface of the floor clearly, and he can make all the experiences that he couldn't make without my help. I will show you now a video of Theo, which was taken after the work with me. Talking about his movements and intention, you witness how he is making use of himself. He's looking with both eyes in the direction of his mom. He doesn't turn his eyes inward and upward anymore. He's rolling the head together with his eyes. He's pushing the floor, he's crossing the midline, uses his chest and shoulders to roll towards the left. The changes are obvious that he is using his right leg in an intentional way to touch the ball, to find the ball, to play with it, and also his left foot. And as we are talking about eyes, how the eyes are organizing the movements of the head and neck, and therefore the rest of the body can follow. As you're watching, you may see that he's turning his head and his eyes together, as if he could see. You can see that he's stamping his foot, he's orienting clearly towards the ball. He turns his head. And there seems to be more connection in his actions. He has more orientation. Turning clearly to the side and back. And he's trying. He's exploring himself in space. He's exploring where his foot is. He's exploring his leaning points on the floor. He's feeling the push and pull in his body to turn to his head to the side, through his chest. He has much more freedom to move and many more possibilities. You can see his eyes are a little more centered. They're not looking up in his forehead anymore. They seem to be more centered, coming in one line with the movements of his head and neck. Let's practice a movement lesson together. Make yourself comfortable on the chair and close your eyes. Measure the distance between the left eye and the left ear, and the right eye and the right ear. The distance between your left eye and the left shoulder, and the distance between your right eye and the right shoulder. Are they in any sense different in size, in length, in volume, thickness? How does the space feel for your left side and for the right side in comparison? Feel and sense the distance of your left eye to your left hip, left side of the pelvis, and then compare with the right side of your hip and pelvis. Feel the distance between your left eye and your left foot. Can you feel and sense a length and sense the length, depth, and how far is it from your right eye to your right foot in sense of length and depth? Are they about the same or are they different from one and another? And get a sense of your feeling your left eye and like it being attached to your left knee, just as if there was an imaginary thread. And also attach your right eye to your right knee, somewhere on top where it's easy. Slowly let your left leg sink a little bit towards the inside, towards the midline, towards the right knee, without pushing or working hard, just leaning it and bringing it back up. Your foot is remain standing. Do the same thing with your right leg. Bring your right knee towards the inside and bring it back up again. And you can alternate a few times, bringing the left knee in, following it with your left eye, bringing it back up, and then taking the right knee towards the inside and following it with your right eye. Slowly continue like that. Feel if there are some differences. And then stop that and feel the left eye is connected with your left knee and the right eye is connected with your right knee. Let them, both knees come together, lean towards each other. And feel if you, when you're connected with your eyes, if you also bring your eyes closer together in a converging way. Can you feel how your eyes are attached to the movements of the knees if you're concentrating
on it, attaching with an invisible thread. Can you feel your eyes participating in this movement? And if it doesn't happen for you, maybe you can make it happen for you. Can you send your eyes towards the midline and bring the knees together, bring the knees apart, following with the eyes. And then for a few times alternate again, bringing the right knee in, the left knee. And feel if you can follow the movements of your legs, of your knees, sinking inward in a more easy, more gentle way, without straining. And slowly let go of that and just rest. You can rest your back. And then slowly open your eyes. Get a sense of how you're looking when you just glaze somewhere. How's the space around you? How is your gaze? You have the distance between your left eye and your left ear, and the right eye and the right ear. You can close your eyes or open. Just feel if something has changed. Thank you very much. Seeing a second video of Theo after having his 10 lessons, and he's touching the ball with his left foot. He's turned towards that side. He came over to lie on this side by himself. You can see he's aiming with his left foot and looking with his left foot to the ball. He's clearly taking action. He's orienting towards that ball. And he's using his left leg to cross the midline. His arms and his head, his chest are following him. You can see how the movement in his ribs and chest are following the movement of the left leg crossing the midline. He's so attentive. He feels what he's doing. He plays, he goes away, he goes back and forth. He makes pauses. Clearly he made progress, and a huge progress is that he could cross the midline with his left leg and also use his whole self in the direction of the source of where he wants to go. This is the second picture of Theo after receiving 10 movement lessons from me. His right eye is focusing more towards where he hears the source of sound. He can turn his head easily now, brings his head and body in one movement to orient where he wants to go. He has better head control, and look at his face. He's now more present, more active in communication. He shows interest in communication, in communicating with his environment. You will be back for more lessons with me.
Thank you for listening. We hope that we were able to show you our genuine and different approach to brain mapping and neuroplasticity using movement with attention. We at the Moving Center work successfully with adults and children with neurological challenges around the world. And we are happy to answer any questions that you may have in the following panel. Thank you very much.